Clint Bolton has saved 3 penalties of the 10 that have been taken against him. Brockie, and Brockie scores.
Hi, I'm here with our ambassador Jeremy Brockie. We're very lucky to have him here. He's a New Zealand soccer player who's played with the All Whites and the Wellington Phoenix, and who's currently living in South Africa playing for Super Sport United. So Jeremy, you're originally from Nelson. Would you like to tell us a little bit about how it all started?
Yeah, Nelson is where it was all started. I remember a story that my granddad used to tell me, which was on a Saturday afternoon when I was watching my dad play. I'd be in the club rooms and one of the little walkers from the age of about 1, kicking a ball around in one of them, obviously with a bit of assistance. That's a memory he always shares with me, and I guess I was born with a football at my feet.
Yeah, so it was always soccer, was it? Or?
It was always soccer. There was a little bit of rugby and cricket and all that in between, but football for me was always number one, and my number one goal was to be a professional footballer.
And how old were you when you knew that soccer was going to be your sport?
I think from a young age, that 10, 11, 12, posters were filled with Manchester United. My room was filled with Manchester United posters. David Beckham was a big idol of mine, and seeing what he achieved and being a sports person, that's what inspired me to go to the next level.
And so you had a lot of support from the people around you to do that? And
yeah, a lot of support from my family, and I got some good friends, and they all helped me to get to where I am today, and I wouldn't be here where I am today without them. So they invested a lot of time and money and effort to help me get to where I am.
And who was your main influence, do you think?
If I had to single one out, it would be my dad. Taking me to trainings, dropping me off, helping me get to that next level by helping me get money to go to training camps, and all those little things all add up, and he's been a big influence.
Jeremy Brockie! Wonderful header from Brockie! Hasn't he?
And there's lots of great sports people in Nelson. What do you think set you apart from the others?
I had did have a good core of friends growing up that we all followed the football route and wanted to become professional footballers. We'd watch it in all hours of the morning and always be out in the backyard kicking a ball around, juggling and trying to become better. And I think for me it was the dream of becoming a professional footballer. I set goals of wanting to be a footballer, and I think that's what gave me the edge over a lot of my friends. Was the posters. I lived and breathed football, and I only ever had one goal in life, and that was to be a professional footballer.
What do you think stopped some of your peers who were talented from utilising those talents?
I think from first-hand experience, parents go a long way to deciding, well, not deciding, but depending on whether a player makes it or not. And I go back to when I was younger. There was 2 of us. One of them, he's probably more talented than what I was naturally, but the biggest difference was probably our parents, and they both supported us and wanted us to achieve our dream of becoming a footballer. But the main difference was probably my dad supported me and helped me get to where I was, but their parent pushed them, and it was almost like he was the father was living or wanting to become what the child could potentially be. And it happens a lot that parents push kids too far, and they're going down the right track, but then that moment where they've pushed them too far, they can't get to the sort of like that breaking point, and it's too much for them, and they sort of relationships break, and so does their career, and I think that's a big part of becoming a professional athlete is the support and the right type of support that you get from your parents.
So there's a fine line between support and then pressure and pushing too hard.
For sure, and you could go to any Saturday game. I could go to a field on Saturday, and I could probably point out to you the talented kids, and then the talented kids that are probably not going to make it just by watching their parents and how they act on the sideline. They'll be the ones that are screaming and putting so much pressure on them to try and perform it, and you can't do that to a kid that's 12 or 13 and still developing mentally and trying to learn the game themselves too. And if you can get the right support, then it goes a long way to helping you achieve.
How have you coped with the ups and downs of playing professional sport?
There's plenty of ups and downs being a professional sports person, and the main one is injuries. Every sports person has injuries, short or long injuries at some stage in their career, and in the early part of my career I had quite a lot: a broken leg, broken foot, a lot of muscle tears. But the things that get you through those tough times are the support of your family and friends, and it can be quite lonely sometimes doing all the hard rehab, biking, swimming. You're stuck in the gym most of the time by yourself, having to try and motivate yourself while the rest of the boys are out there on the pitch running around and having fun. And it's a lot of hard work, but you come back stronger. And like I said, the support you get from family and friends through those tough times make you remember and realise that you are doing something that you love, and that's just part of being a professional sports person.
So in those moments you might feel like a team at times and you have to rely on your own sort of strength? Or?
Yeah, it does, and initially it's very tough because you want to be out on the field with your teammates. If they win on a weekend, you don't feel as much part of it because you know that come Monday you're going to be back running on a treadmill or swimming laps in a pool by yourself. But it's down to you as an individual to make sure that you stay on track and look a bit further ahead, knowing that times are going to get better and brighter. And like I said, the initial part's tough, but the rewards of stepping back out on the pitch are second to none.
What would you say to a young person who wants to get into being a professional sports person?
For me, the biggest thing that I learned and helped me achieve to where I am is goal setting. I go back to the parent thing. My dad helped me a lot in terms of getting me to write down goals, and not just I want to be a professional footballer, because anyone can sort of write that down, but I would write short-term goals, medium-term, and then long-term. On the long-term, there was wanting to be a professional footballer, wanting to play for the New Zealand national team, wanting to go to a World Cup and play for New Zealand, and those goals are great, but not everyone can. You're not always going to achieve them. So, little short-term goals would be looking ahead just to the next game you've got or the next training session, and working on your strengths. But not only football-related goals either. Maybe goals in terms of your diet and fitness, and not always about football, because you've got to have some other interests. And I had them written on a wall and on my bedroom, and I'd wake up in the morning, I'd read them, and go to sleep at night and I'd read them, and slowly but surely I'd get to tick every goal off, and that's what helped me get to where I am today, and even now still that I've achieved probably not all of them. I didn't quite get to play in a big European league overseas, but I pretty much achieved them. But I still set goals now on upcoming seasons and aspirations with the New Zealand national team every time I go and play with them. So that's the biggest piece of advice I could give.
And why is it important for you to give back?
It's very important for me because growing up in Nelson, I saw a lot of talented kids, and then even now when I go back, I see a lot of talented kids that can make it and follow in my footstep, or a rugby player, or it doesn't matter who you are, but coming from a smaller community, and it's always nice to be able to give back because they've helped you get to where you are. Not only my family, but the whole Nelson community. Growing up as a kid, knew that there was something, I don't know, I guess you could say special about me if I continued to go on the development that I could. And now whenever I go back, I go down the park and kick a ball around with kids, or put on a coaching session. And for them, they watch you on TV, but for me, it's special going back home and them seeing and me getting to see the look on their face, being able to sort of touch me and play with me and experience kicking a ball around with me in real life, and knowing that they can achieve their dreams too if they really want to.
Thanks, Jeremy, on behalf of the iSPORT Foundation for sharing your experiences with us.
My pleasure.
Eiffel squares it. Brockie! It's all level! 2-2 at the Cape Town.